Are you struggling with new shaping? Let me teach you how to create 4 different
Our
shapes.
shapes begins with a stiletto, almond, square, and a dark nails. We are going right back to our basics. Before we start by applying our tips, we will need to prep the natural nails. Remember, nail prep is the most important stage for good retention. So go ahead and gently push back your cuticles. Remove any dead skins around the nail plate. Then buff to gently remove the shine from the natural nails. Be careful not to overfoul the natural nails. We are only removing shine to create better surface for the tip. Dust off and make sure there is no remaining dust. After, select the right tip for each nails. But remember, we are only using a mannequin hand here. So what we will do is to just use our e-file or our normal file to take off the shine from the nail plate. Now, let's apply our glue and place our tip carefully on the natural nails. I'm pressing it down gently and holding it in one place to make sure there is no air bubbles. Once the tips is properly attached, then you move to the next nail. But when you are choosing your tips, make sure it fits from one side walls to the other, and it shouldn't be too small or forcefully pressed onto the natural nails. Continue for the rest of the nails, but remember we are doing a dark nails. So for one nails, we have to improvise. So if you have a already made dark nails, you use it, but if you don't have, you can turn the half tip upside down for your dark nails. By so doing, you'll be using a bigger tip. To start with our stiletto shape, stiletto is very long, dramatic, and has a very pointy and a sharp tip. The first thing we want to do is to identify the center of our nail after cutting the size of the length. This is very important because the center will guide us when we are filing. Now, using our scissors and our center point as guidelines, we'll go diagonal direction and cut the tip over there. Repeat the same thing for the other side. Now, when you are done and you are okay with the cutting, the next thing is for you to shape. So we are going to shape gradually and make sure that we don't take much product at once. I prefer working gradually and checking my shaping as I go. Now move to the opposite side and do the same thing there, constantly comparing both sides, making them look symmetrical. If one side is more tempered than the other, you can make the adjustments but focus on the free edge. For stiletto, our main aim is to get the point very sharp. Bring the both sides together. Make sure one point is not crooked. A very good tip look directly at the nails from the front. It is easier to see if your point is centered. Also check from the nail side, making sure the length and the structure look good. After, you can go in and smoothen with your buffer. Smoothing out the outer side walls and make sure there is no rough edges. And there we have our stiletto shape. Very clean, sharp, and dramatic. Next, we are moving on to our almond shape. Almond is also tempered, but unlike stiletto, the shape is softer and more rounded. Again, I'm starting by identifying the center of the nail. So as we did for the stiletto nails, in this side, you move a little bit far from the center line and cut diagonal. Repeat the same thing for the other side. Continue with filing one side towards the center and then repeat the same process on the other side. The most important thing here is balance. Try not to move too much from one side before moving to the other side. Work back and forth so that you can maintain the even shape. Now we are going to soften the tip. Instead of creating a sharp point like stiletto, we will gently round the free edge. Continue making small adjustments to the side walls and the tips. Note that our file is our best friend when it comes to shaping, but remember not to overfile. This will smoothen the nail tip and remove the shine from the false nails. Take your time and control your movement, then smoothen with your buffer, including the edges, and check for the final shape. For our almighty square nails, the side walls should remain straight and the free edge should be straight across. So cut into your preferred length, then go ahead and use your file. File straight, making sure that both sides have the same direction and length. Now work on your free edge. I'm holding the file straight across the nails and filing from one side to the other. You don't want to round the corners because the corners are part of what gives the clean square shape. If one corner is higher than the other, keep on making the adjustment. Once everything looks balanced, smoothing out the edges, and this is what you should get for the three that you have done. Now let's proceed to our final shape. Dark nails are also called flared nails because the free edge is wider than the base. This is what makes the shape very different from the other nails. Instead of tampering with the size inwardly, allow the free edge to flare out. Start from one side and carefully file while maintaining the outward flare. Then move to the other side. The key here is sedimentary. You do not want to file one side, leaving it flarer than the other. Continue to maintain the wider appearance. When you are done, refine the corners and smoothen the edges with your buffer. This is a dark nail, very bold and different from all the nails you have seen. Thank you for watching this, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave comments below. Watch out on our next tutorials. Bye!